Okay, Carmel Sepuloni, we're now looking at 10 months from today, the general election, the 7th of November. What is Labour doing prepared for the general election?
Oh, well, Happy New Year, Tawai, to all of the listeners out there, and I really hope that everyone had a good break, even though the weather has not been the best recently. But in the lead up to the next election, we're pretty clear, like our focus is on the things that matter to our Pasifika community, and that is jobs, health, homes, and real action on the cost of living.
Okay, so let's talk about cost of living. From what I hear around our community, I mean, Taeao Pasifika, most of our Pasifika are far now suffering with the cost of living. Now, for you, if Labour were in government today, what would be the first concrete changes you'd make to ease the pressure for Pasifika households?
Yeah, so we've started making announcements. We haven't got through the full suite of what we would do if we were back in government yet. Those announcements will come over the course of this year. But the ones that we made already are, I think, really important to our Pasifika community. You know, we have said that we would introduce a capital gains tax, that it won't be on the family home. It really is for those that own multiple properties. It's not the family home. It's not businesses. And it's not KiwiSaver. Right. But we've been really clear about where we would spend that money. And so in that instance, it's introducing the Medicard and making sure that all New Zealanders get access to 3 free GP visits a year. Right. So it's these things that actually help with the cost of living, Tawai. Too many of our people are not going to the doctor because it costs too much. Right. In some places, it costs up to $100 to go to a GP to have that appointment. But what you'll see over the course of the coming year are policies that help to address the cost of living and the practical steps like that one. And I think, you know, that's a really important one to mention.
Okay. Carmel Sepuloni, Pacific unemployment is rising again. What's going wrong, and how do we ensure Pacific people aren't the first to lose jobs during economic downturns?
So yeah, Tawai, that's so true. And a couple of the things that have happened under this government that have affected the unemployment rate and meant that more of our people are out of work. Number one, that when they first got in, they cancelled a whole lot of infrastructure and building projects, including the Kāinga Order state housing builds. Now that meant that there were significantly less, thousands fewer jobs in the construction industry. And of course, many of our people work in that industry. The other thing that they did was they haven't funded the health system adequately. And we're in a position where we've actually got graduate nurses coming out of training with their degrees and not able to pick up jobs here in New Zealand. You know, and given the understaffing in our hospitals and our health sector, you know, that's an indictment on this government. We need those nurses in there because of the understaffing. And yet they basically froze the hiring of health professionals because of the fact that they weren't funding the health system adequately. And so things like that are things that Labour would not have done, and you can be assured that we'd be focusing on so that we can make sure that our people have jobs. The government have, in their minds, been led down this track where they're like, well, unemployment is a result of our responsible plan for economic recovery or growth. Unemployment shouldn't be, you know, because times that we're experiencing like this under this government, it's our people.
Right. Do you think current economic policy truly reflects the realities of large Pacific families supporting multiple generations? Carmel?
No, not at all. And, you know, keep in mind that when the government first came in, they announced tax cuts. Well, people have experienced very little in their back pockets as a result of the tax cuts, but this is a government that had to actually borrow to be able to pay for those tax cuts, and it meant that, of course, there would be cuts in other places. This is also a government, Taeao, that said that families would be up to $250 a fortnight better off as a result of their policies. And they still can't name one family that is $250 better off as a result of their policy.
Right.
They also introduced their policy around being able to get a rebate from Inland Revenue on the money you spend on early childhood education. Well, what a complicated way to be able to get money back from the government.
Right.
And who are the people that are less likely to apply for that rebate? We know who that is, Taeao, and that's our people.
Okay. Carmel Sepuloni, the students will be back to school this week and next week. My question is, many of our Pacific parents worry their children are falling through the cracks of education. What needs to change so Pacific youth can thrive, not just survive?
Well, firstly, I want to thank our schools, our teachers, our principals for the job that they do, and recognise that often some of the challenges that they face with our young people that are in their schools are challenges that come from outside of the schooling system, but our schools are at the front line, whether that be transient housing, whether that be poverty, whether that be any of the other social issues that our kids might show up at the doorstep at schools with. Our schools are the front line that are not only trying to educate, but that are responding to that. So I want to acknowledge them for that, and the good job that they do. I'm a bit worried, Taeao. I've got a child who's starting his year 9 at high school this year. With the changes that the government are introducing to qualifications, he's going to be part of the first year when he gets to his year 11 that is experimented with the government's changes in qualifications. No evidence base, real criticism from educational specialists, teachers and schools, but this government are adamant that they're going to continue to pursue that regardless of all the evidence and advice that they've been given. And so, alongside other parents, I don't want my kid to be a guinea pig. I want any changes to be informed by evidence and science and the best experts, but this government are not listening to those things.
Right. Okay, Carmel Sepuloni, we're running out of time. Before I let you go, looking back on your own journey, what advice would you give a young Samoan or Tongan listener who wants to lead one day?
Oh, good question. Last night we had the valedictory speech from the speaker, Adrian Rudafia, who's leaving. And he made a really good point in his valedictory speech. And that is that at different points in his political career, he was asked to do things that he didn't think he wanted to do. But each time he was asked by leadership to do something, he took up the challenge and went with it and did it. And he was reminding everyone in the house that everyone has a place. Every job is important. Take up the jobs that are put in front of you and do the best that you can at those particular jobs, and there will be a pathway forward in some way that you might not necessarily see.
Excellent. Honourable Carmel Sepuloni, whawhetai tele lava, mo le taimile nei Taeao, mo ni lava nei aso.
Whawhetai
lava. Thank you. Honourable Carmel Sepuloni, ma le talanoanga rene fo i Taeao, fōli tau tō mo rere Samoa Svalima, i vatola